City Skylines is an awesome game, but what really makes it special is the mods that are available when you buy it through Steam on a Mac or PC. Mods can completely change the game from a somewhat goofy simulation manager to a realistic diorama builder, and in this two-part video series, I'll be going through some of what I think are the most essential and powerful mods that change the game in 2022. In this first video, we're going to focus on mods that give you new tools in the game and improve the visuals, and in the second video, we'll take a look at some mods that improve the FPS and make the game run smoother. When we're talking about mods, we're talking about very small files that you can subscribe to on the Steam Workshop that change nearly anything about how the City Skylines game runs. This is in contrast to an asset, which is an actual thing that you can find once you're in the game, like a building or a tree or a vehicle, and these can also be downloaded from the Steam Workshop. First, let's take a look at the absolutely most essential mods. Move It by Cuboid is the #1 most essential mod because it allows you to move buildings, roads, trees, and anything else in the game after it's already been placed down. It has almost 2 million subscribers on Steam, I think maybe more than anything else, and I'm gonna guess that most of you already know about it. Find It 2 by Sway and Algernon is the second most essential mod because it adds a search window to the game which allows you to find buildings, roads, trees, and anything else by a variety of means, including by category or type, workshop or vanilla, by size, or by searching directly for the name of the thing or the creator. It allows you to make tabs like a web browser and search for multiple things at once and find and place down objects which wouldn't necessarily appear in any of the vanilla windows, like highway pillars. Find Road Tool and Find Road Anarchy are two mods by Clyte45 which add essential options for creating roads and networks, like the ability to connect to networks at tight angles or choose if you want elevated or ground level or a tunnel segment to make straight slopes and all sorts of stuff. With the road collision option, this mod also gives you the ability to turn off that pesky feature where things become red or get deleted if you try and place something too close to something else. RICO stands for Residential, Industrial, Commercial, and Office, and the ploppable RICO mod by Algernon allows you to download any building on the workshop and hand place it down in the game exactly where you want as a functioning RICO building, residential, or whatever type that you choose. This means that you can have a city filled with awesome, unique buildings from the workshop and still see it work as a functioning simulation city the way you want. Make sure to also pick up the No Building Abandonment mod by TPB if you're going to be using ploppable RICO because it prevents buildings that you hand placed from becoming abandoned. Extra Landscaping Tools by Bloody Penguin is another extremely popular mod with over 1.6 million subscribers on Steam. It adds a set of tools to the game to help better manipulate the terrain, including more precise brushes, the ability to add water sources, and paint down oil, ore, and fertile areas. Prop Anarchy and Tree Anarchy are two mods by Quistar and Charmeleon TBN, which allows close to unlimited props and trees in the game and add a ridiculous amount of utilities, features, and fixes for making trees and props easier to place down, including resizing, recoloring, the ability to raise and lower, place them in perfectly straight lines or circles, and a ton of other stuff. And what's particularly awesome is they combine what used to be like 15 separate mods into just these two. Acme by Algernon and Chameleon TBN is a newly released mod that replaces and improves upon TPB's Camera Positions utility mod. It gives you totally unrestrained and free movement of the camera, as well as options to change the field of view. The last absolutely essential mod in my list is the Advanced Vehicles Option mod by Tim. This mod allows you to choose which vehicles can spawn in your city and allows you to change options about your vehicles like the passenger capacity or max speed. But most importantly, it allows you to turn off spawning for many of those sometimes ridiculous looking vanilla vehicles that can really just take the realism away from your city. Next, let's take a look at some of the most essential visual mods. First, we have Relight by Ronic69 TPB and Simon Ryer. This mod allows you to change the look of the game so that the lighting and colors are much more realistic. Theme Mixer 2 by TPB allows you to create a custom map theme in-game, changing everything from the color and texture of the ground or water to even the sun and color correction LUT or LUT. You can download multiple themes from the workshop and just use like the grass from one and the cliff texture from another and the road texture from a third, recolor and resize the textures, and a ton of other stuff that allows you to totally change your city's environment. Ultimate Eyecandy is an extremely old mod by Judaz, which still amazingly seems to be the only mod that can change the direction of the sun, pause or slow down the speed of the day and night cycle, or turn on and off the rain. The light intensity sliders in this mod are also very powerful. Because this mod is so old, whenever you load into the game you have to jiggle each of the sliders, which is super annoying, but it's worth it because lining up the in-game sun to the sun in the cube map is essential to the realism of your city. Cube Map Replacer by Bloody Penguin, along with a number of different cube map packs by Ronix69 and others on the workshop, allow you to change the image of the sky from, for example, thick storm clouds to wispy clouds at sunset. Changing the cube map of your city can give it a wildly different mood and greatly adds to the realism. No Radioactive Desert mod by Bloody Penguin removes a lot of the odd in-game visual effects, like how pollution turns the ground and the air around factories and things purple, or how trees near water change color. It's not a lot, but it makes a huge difference to removing some of the cartoonishness about the vanilla game. The last essential visual mod is Render It by Keallu. This mod allows you to change the way your graphics card renders the game and adds options like bloom, edge smoothing, and anti-flicker, which is particularly important. Finally, let's take a look at some mods that greatly help to improve the realism of your city. First, we have the Forest Brush by Eggy and TPB. This mod allows you to create brushes that place down multiple types of trees at once, customizing how common certain types of trees are within the brush and how densely they're populated. You can make brushes for garden beds, forests, or deserts, and it is essential for making a realistic looking map. Next, we have the Traffic Manager mod by Kianziren, Kreischu1245, Charmeleon, and a number of others. This mod is incredibly popular with over 1.6 million subscribers on Steam and adds a number of essential controls for dealing with the often frustrating traffic in this game, including setting speed limits, controlling how cars can change lanes and merge, enabling and disabling crosswalks, and improvements to the vanilla driving AI. Node Controller by Maxurgy and Kianziren fixes a fundamental issue with the vanilla game where intersections cannot exist on a slope. It also opens up an entire world of creativity, allowing you to change the size, shape, tilt, slope, and much more for intersections and other nodes. Next, we have the Network Multi-Tool by Maxurgy. This mod can help to create complicated interchanges and more by adding a variety of tools like the ability to add or remove nodes, arrange nodes in a line or along a slope, and create complicated shapes like roads with perfect loops and connections and curves and parallels. The Intersection Marking Tool, also by Maxurgy, allows you to add realistic looking road markings to intersections. While this always used to be possible with decals, this mod allows you to make extremely complex road markings very quickly, as well as copy and paste road markings from one intersection to another. Building Themes mod by Bloody Penguin, Bowformer, and SamSamTS is an essential mod for anyone doing any zoning because it allows you to control what buildings spawn in your city, allowing you to remove any of the wacky vanilla buildings that you don't like. You can also even divide it by district, allowing certain types of buildings to spawn in one district and others to spawn elsewhere in your city. Repaint mod by Algernon allows you to recolor buildings, which is essential when trying to match building colors throughout your city, as well as when you create interesting and realistic shaped structures out of multiple buildings clipped together. The vanilla game likes to randomly recolor buildings each time you place one down, and this allows you to store and match building colors. Next, we have 3 mods that work together in tandem: Realistic Population and Lifestyle Rebalance by Algernon, and Rebalance Industries by Cuboid. These mods work to adjust the lifestyle of the citizens, the number of workers or residents in buildings, and the economics of Industries DLC areas. Lifestyle Rebalance can help level out death waves. Realistic Population makes it so buildings have a more realistic number of residents, and Rebalance Industries makes the functionality of any industry building delivery truck a bit more realistic. Last, but certainly not least, and in almost a category of its own, we have the Procedural Objects mod by Simon Ryer. This mod unlocks an entirely new world of city building, and easily is the most powerful mod on this list in terms of what sorts of crazy stuff you can accomplish with it. Basically, this mod turns the game into a 3D modeling program, allowing you to edit the actual 3D models for the buildings, props, and almost anything in game. You can resize, rotate, or reshape buildings and props. You can add effects like fire or movement to objects, and it even allows you to change the textures of objects in game, like adding custom lettering to road signs. Because this mod basically creates inanimate 3D structures, it's best paired with Block Services by Nylon, which are small buildings that can be placed inside of procedural objects in order to give them the same functionality as a normal building. Well, that brings us to the end of the first half of this list. In the next video, we're going to take a look at mods that help to make the game run faster and better. Please keep in mind that the wonderful people who make these mods often do it completely for free. So if you can, give them a thanks or a thumbs up on the mod pages, or even better, support through their PayPals or Patreons, which they often link to in the description of the mods. As always, make sure to read the descriptions and be aware of the dependencies of new mods when you add them, so that you know how they work and know that there won't be any incompatibilities with mods you've previously downloaded. I hope you guys found this list helpful, and I'll see you in part 2 of this 2022 Most Essential Mods series.